Okay, so I am making this video for my parents to kind of show you how I've been teaching your students how to multiply in my class uh, because I've been getting a lot of questions about it since it's definitely not the traditional way that you or I learned multiplying. All right, so let's say we want to multiply 4 and 6/10 times 3 and 2/10. The first thing you have to do is estimate. So 4 and 6/10, the 6 tells the 4 to round up. So 4 rounds closest to 5. And then we have 3 and 2/10. The 2 tells the 3 to stay the same. So 3 and 2/10 rounds closest to 3. So you get something like this. 5 times 3, that's what they round to. And our estimate is 15. So we know that our answer should be somewhere around 15, whole number 15. All right, our next step is to multiply without decimals. So I just kind of showed you how we multiply using our standard algorithm. This is the normal way to multiply that you and I learned when we were in school. And when you do that, you get 1,472, right? We're not doing any decimals. I took out all the decimals. So instead of multiplying 4 and 6/10 by 3 and 2/10, we just multiplied 46 by 32. And we got this 4-digit number. Our final step is placing our decimal using our estimate. Now, this is where we see the big difference between the traditional way of multiplying decimals and the way we do it now. All right? So usually you would just count the spaces after the whole number or how many decimal spaces there were, and that's how many times you would move the decimal to the left. However, what we found was that then students, if they made a error in the amount of spaces or times that they moved, they didn't have it within them to recognize that their answer didn't make any sense. So when you refer back, you're going to ask yourself, if your estimate was 15, where can you place the decimal so that it makes sense? So these were the 4 digits that we got. There's a couple of places we can place the decimal. If we place the decimal here at the end of the number, then we get 1,472, which is nowhere near 15. It is way too big. It's not anywhere near my estimate, right? So I would tell your student, no, that doesn't make any sense. It's way too big. Next, we can place our decimal right here between the 7 and the 2. You're going to get 147 and 2/10. Again, if your estimate is 15, does that make sense? No, it doesn't. It's, again, way too big. If I put it at the front of this 4-digit number, then I get a number that is way too small, nowhere near 15. It doesn't make any sense. I should not choose that as an answer. And finally, just to kind of cut to the chase, my best option is to place it between the 4 and 7 because it gets me closest to my estimate. So 14 and 72/100 would be my answer. Again, could you have arrived at this answer by just moving your decimal? Absolutely, but they have no math sense and they don't really understand what's happening. Once they get to middle school, they can absolutely use that strategy. But now in 5th grade, as they're just starting to work with decimals, they need to understand what's going on and what makes sense. I really hope that this video was helpful and that you will continue to support your student as they learn newer math concepts. I know that sometimes it's a little different from what we learned. Sometimes you guys can kind of figure it out. But again, I'm hoping this was helpful and that you got something out of it. All right, thank you very much.